Welcome to Dr. Roger and Friends, the bright side of longevity. Hosted by 3 Ps in a podcast, Doc Roger, Teresa, and Danielle. Thanks for joining us for coffee and conversation.
So as I'm getting out of bed this morning, all the aches and pains remind me how old I am. But you know what? A lot of us are getting older. And do you know our society that the fastest growing group is the 85 plus group
Really?
in our society? It's kind of optimistic, right?
Well, not the way you're describing it so far. I mean, is that all there is getting worse?
There is no guarantee that even though we're living longer now, that it's going to be quality of life. You could have aches and pains, and we know you're at risk for more things happening. So, you start to wonder, is that a good thing? There's a lot of people who are aging in a better way. More and more, we're seeing them.
That's just it. I think so many people would say, as long as I have high physical function, high cognitive function, and can live life on my terms, I think that's true for me anyway.
I was going to say, that was my next question. Like, I read somewhere that we can live 125 years under optimal conditions, but do we want to? And you're saying if we can be healthier, then yeah, we might want to.
Yeah. The oldest human was Jean Calment. She was a French lady. She lived to be 122.
Wow.
Yeah. She knew Van Gogh.
Really?
She said he was a jerk.
That's what I've read.
Whoever would say Van Gogh was a jerk? Well, someone who knew him, I guess, Well, I don't want to be a jerk if I get to live that long. So, but these blue zones, you've heard of those, right?
Yeah.
So Dan Buettner wrote about them, and they're places where people age. They get very old, but they're very vital. So, and they're happy, and they're going concerns. So I'd like a dose of that. They keep it moving, and they still learn things. They're very socially connected, and they're considered to be important parts of the society. And they eat Mediterranean diets, so that doesn't sound all that hard if you work at it. So anyway, I think there's a possibility that we can live longer and live a great life.
A probability, right? Possibility, maybe probability.
Probability.
The research is saying, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I love in your book, Dr. Roger, when you say we have one version 1.0 bodies, but we're living in a 2.0 world. So that presents some challenges if indeed we are going to live to, say, 100 or more.
That's right. I see it as a disconnect. And what I want to do is what the title says, live long, die short. But, there's a disconnect from what we'd like to do and what's possible. So, what do you do if you're a 1.0 and a 2.0 world, go around shaking your head saying, these kids today.
Well, what do we do? The thing that stood out to me, I can get behind eating healthy, exercising, moving, but the staying connected part, I think, is a real challenge for people. I mean, people who live in urban societies tend to be the loneliest people, and there are literally thousands of people around them every day that they could interact with but don't.
Well, that's the difference. In our society, we pasteurize our older adults, like horses. And in a place like the blue zones, they're considered cultural treasures, important, as they were in previous pre-industrial revolution societies. So we're not, maybe eventually we'll change society, but we're not going to do it quickly, not in our lifetime. So I guess we've got to be a little pushy. No, it's not so much pushy. I think it's just pay attention and work hard at keeping connections, especially intergenerational connections. I think those are really important because, even if you know people, they tend to be your peers as you get older and older.
It's about being intentional and purposeful, I think, in terms of making new connections and nurturing existing connections. It's easy to not stay purposeful about that. And yet the benefits are so powerful.
What did they say? If I knew I was going to live this long, would have taken better care of myself. If I knew I was going to live this long, I probably wouldn't have gotten on a toboggan with beer on board at night when I was in college. Because the results of that, kind of limited me. I've had surgeries and pain, but, I've accommodated and blasted through. But if I had to accommodate, I did that when I was 19. So I have to accommodate for 80 years. That gets a little tough.
Okay. The real question here was there a woman involved, Roger?
Absolutely, there was. Yeah, there was indeed,
Most people say they wish they would have done differently if they were going to live such a long life. And yours is unique with the toboggan, Roger, but most people say they would have done differently with their fitness or nutritional routine. So interesting research there.
Yeah, eat for the long run, move for the long run. This is your body. This is your automobile, so to speak. And you're going to be in this thing for your entire life. So, you wax a car, you wash a car, you bring it for maintenance and all of that. I mean, that makes sense. This is our vehicle to get through this life. So, I mean, that kind of puts things in perspective.
Though, I'm thinking back to when I was 19 or 20, and I just thought I was immortal. I could eat whatever I wanted. I could do whatever I wanted, and I was just going to be healthy. So how do you help young people get past that mindset to know you should plan for the long run because you're not immortal?
So, I think the more we have role models, the more we see that, you see the skydiver on TV who's 90 or whatever, but we're going to see more of that. And it's going to be in everybody's life. We've had major social change come in life when it touches a lot of people. Like, say, the whole area of homosexuality. That touches just about everybody. And so that legislation went very quick when it did. And so as more and more older adults age in a better way, not only live long, but age in a better way, I think it's going to touch people. And hopefully with intergenerational contact, the young people will, pay attention. I say to my grandkids, for instance, you'll love this, Danielle. Mm-hmm. You're the spiritual one in this. And you'll love it too because you're the life coach, Teresa. So this is exactly. So I say to the kids, what's the most important thing you're going to do today? And by now they know the answer. For a long time they didn't. Oh, I'm going to play baseball. No, they say now, what I'm doing right now, Papa. What I'm doing right now.
You're a good granddad.
Yeah, that's what a lesson. And I hope they never forget it because, we know all the stress that comes with not being present, and being a monkey mind and chattering mind. And here's the takeaway, right? We're going to live long. Statistically, we're living longer. Remember, 48 at the turn of the 20th century, and now we're in the 70s. And with technology, more and more people are going to reach 80s, 90s, even 100s. And so, we ought to talk about what can we do so that we can navigate this century, potentially a century of living, and do it so that we can be all we can be and get the most out of it. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So next time we'll talk about lifestyle, right? Because we know that's the big player. All right. We'll be back.
Hi. We hope this podcast is a source of inspiration. If you're ready to dive deeper into these concepts and really apply them in your life, join us over at Master Life. You'll have a personalized experience and lots of support to create your own long, bright future. mymasterlife.com